In this lesson, we're going to start setting up our example questionnaire in the Designer tool. Specifically, we're going to be learning about setting up questions, inserting pieces of static text, setting images to our survey, and also making the interviewer instructions. So let's take a look now at our example questionnaire in Excel, and we're going to be starting on Module A. So here we are in our example questionnaire at Module A. We're going to need to set up all of this text at the top here, even the logo, and all of these questions for our first module of the questionnaire. But the first step to doing this is going back to the Designer tool and creating a new questionnaire. I'm going to call this Example Questionnaire and then append my name. And press Create. First of all, today we're going to take a look at how to insert static text. Static texts are pieces of text which will appear on the tablet screen, but they aren't questions. They have no data to be input to them. We can use them for things like titles or explanatory text before questions. Let's see how to set them up. So let's add the static text at the top of our survey form here. The best method is always to copy and paste from your master questionnaire document. This will avoid any typing mistakes. Back in the Designer, instead of doing add question, we'll simply do add a static text. And you can paste your text in here. And remember to always press save. Next up today, we're going to learn how to insert an image into our survey. For this, we'll be using the logo on the cover page of our example questionnaire. To add an image to our survey, you can go on the advanced bar on the side down to attachments. And we'll upload a new attachment. Here you can add any image file and press open. You can change the name if you like, but I think logo is fine, so we'll leave it there. Now, on our piece of static text at the top, we can go to attachment name and type in logo. Now this image will be attached to this piece of text. Now that we have our logo and headers all set up, we're ready to build our first questions. You can see here we've got questions A01 through to A19. Let's take a look at the different question types we'll need to employ. So for province and district, let's keep this numeric for now. We're going to improve this later in the course. A PSU number is also numeric. Household ID number is also numeric. The name of the household head and the address will be text. The phone number will be numeric. The respondent's name will be text. And the date of interview will be a date type question. So let's set up A01 province and district code. We're going to press add a question. Our question type we want is numeric. And our variable name is going to be called A01. Next is the variable label. Remember, this does not appear on the tablet screen, but it will appear in your data files when you export them. So what I like to do is include my variable name and then a hyphen, and then you can either use some descriptor of the variable, or you can include an exact copy of the question text. If you're using the same label for label and question text, you can simply copy and paste across. We're going to use an integer, and we don't need a 1000 separator because it's not going to be a long number. And we'll press save. Now that I've added all of my questions from the cover page, you can see them set up on the left-hand side here. You can see this small number or small symbol here tells us the type of question. The numbers relate to a numeric type question, the letters relate to a text, and this symbol here means a date. Next, we have our question texts in the middle here, and over on the side, we have our variable names. Lastly for today is questionnaire instructions. These are pieces of text which display underneath the questions and are for the interviewer to read to themselves, not out loud to the respondents as they do for question texts. Let's have a look. So you can see here there's one piece of text from our cover page which we haven't yet included in the Designer, and that's this piece here in italics. I'm going to set this up as an interviewer instruction. This is something the interviewer should read and take into account, but not read out loud to the respondent. So I'll copy and paste the text again. And it's appearing under A07. So back in the Designer, for A07, I'm going to come down here and press add interviewer instruction, and then paste it in. So now that we've set up all of our static texts, logos, questions, and an interviewer instruction, let's compile and take a look at how it appears on the screen. We've got one compilation error, so let's click on the error to find what the problem is. You can see here our questionnaire variable has been left blank. This is simply the name that we give to our data file for export, so I'm going to call it example. We can update and then compile again. And now we have no errors. So let's test and see how it looks. You can see now we have our static texts, our logos, and our questions where we can enter numbers. We also have the interviewer instruction here. You can see it appears in blue color and it's in italics. That's all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed setting up the cover page using our question texts, images, static text, and interviewer instructions. Join us next lesson and we're going to start working on rosters.